Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9 Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. Reset by Heath explores how individuals, teams, and organizations can change stubborn problems without relying on massive overhauls, perfect plans, or heroic willpower. Drawing on Heath's long-standing interest in practical change, the book focuses on diagnosing what is actually happening in day-to-day work and then making targeted adjustments that create outsized results. Instead of chasing sweeping transformations, it emphasizes small, repeatable moves that unstick progress, spotting hidden constraints, redesigning systems so the right behaviors become easier, and learning through quick cycles of experimentation. The core promise is pragmatic. When something is not working, you can reset the situation by shifting the conditions around the work, rather than blaming people or demanding more effort. The book is designed for readers who want actionable guidance, whether they are managing a project, improving a process, leading a team, or trying to change personal habits that keep snapping back to old patterns. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, start with a clear picture of the current reality. A central theme is that change efforts fail when they are built on vague complaints rather than a precise understanding of what is happening. Reset encourages readers to slow down and map the situation as it is experienced on the ground. That means identifying the specific moments when things break down, who is involved, what decisions are being made, and what workarounds people have quietly adopted. By separating symptoms from causes, you can avoid treating the wrong problem. The book highlights how easy it is to misdiagnose a challenge as a motivation issue or a talent issue when it is actually a design issue in the workflow, incentives, tools, or information. This diagnostic approach also clarifies what success should look like in observable terms, not slogans. When you can describe the smallest visible signs of improvement, you create a practical target for action. The result is a grounded baseline that makes later experiments more meaningful and prevents teams from arguing about opinions. You are no longer debating abstractions, you are improving a system you can see. Secondly, find and fix the constraint that sets the pace. Reset emphasizes that many efforts stall because energy is spent optimizing parts of a process that are not limiting outcomes. The more useful move is to find the constraint, the bottleneck or friction point that determines the speed and quality of the whole system. Once you identify that limiting step, small improvements there can create cascading benefits elsewhere. This topic pushes readers to look for places where work piles up, decisions are delayed, handoffs are messy, or quality issues repeatedly surface. It also encourages attention to invisible constraints such as unclear ownership, competing priorities, or rules that no longer match current conditions. The book frames constraint removal as a high-leverage alternative to adding more effort, more meetings, or more tools. Instead of telling people to try harder, you redesign the environment so the right next action is obvious and easier to take. Readers learn to ask practical questions. What step, if improved, would make everything else easier? What recurring hassle would free time and attention if eliminated? This constraint mindset helps leaders focus resources where they matter most. Thirdly, make progress through small experiments. Instead of big bets, rather than treating change like a one-time rollout, Reset presents it as a series of learning cycles. The book advocates for small experiments that test a specific hypothesis about what might improve results. This reduces risk, builds momentum, and generates real evidence about what works in your context. A small experiment has a clear change to try, a short time horizon, and a simple way to judge outcomes. It also makes it easier to gain buy-in because people can commit to a trial more readily than to a permanent policy shift. Importantly, experiments help reveal second-order effects. A fix that looks good in theory might create new problems elsewhere, and quick trials bring those issues to light early. The experimentation approach also counters perfectionism and analysis paralysis. When you accept that you will learn by doing, you move faster and stay adaptable. Over time, many modest improvements accumulate into a meaningful reset of how work gets done. This topic is especially relevant for managers who want change without triggering resistance or initiative fatigue. Fourthly, design systems that make the desired behavior the default. Reset focuses on changing outcomes by changing the system around people, not by lecturing them. The book encourages readers to look at how processes, incentives, environment, and norms shape behavior. If the desired action is harder than the undesired one, good intentions will not be enough. By adjusting defaults, checklists, prompts, or decision rights, you can make the best path the easy path. This might involve simplifying a workflow, reducing handoffs, creating clearer definitions of done, or building lightweight feedback loops that surface issues early. Another aspect is reducing the reliance on memory and willpower by embedding reminders and guardrails into routines. The book also acknowledges the human side. People adapt to what is measured, rewarded, and celebrated. When metrics and recognition align with the real goal, performance improves with less nagging. This topic helps readers move from motivational speeches to practical design moves that endure. The payoff is sustainability. Once the system supports the behavior, results can improve even when attention shifts to the next challenge. Lastly, build momentum by protecting what works and removing what drains. A reset is not only about fixing failures, it is also about amplifying strengths and reducing unnecessary burdens. Reset encourages readers to identify bright spots, places where the process already works well, and then replicate the conditions that made those successes possible. This approach is energizing because it uses evidence from your own environment rather than importing a generic playbook. At the same time, the book highlights the importance of subtracting. Many teams are overloaded by legacy tasks, outdated rules, and meeting clutter that consume attention without improving outcomes. Subtraction creates capacity for better work and signals that change is not always additive. The book invites readers to scrutinize recurring pain points, approvals that add little value, reports no one reads, tools that complicate more than they help. By pruning these drains and reinforcing effective practices, teams regain a sense of control and forward motion. Momentum matters because early wins reduce cynicism and increase willingness to try additional changes. This topic positions reset as a practical form of renewal. Keep what is working, remove what is not, and make the better way easier to sustain. In conclusion, reset is well suited for managers, team leads, founders, project owners, and anyone responsible for improving how work gets done. It also fits readers who are tired of advice that depends on brute force motivation or expensive transformations. The value of the book is its emphasis on leverage, diagnosing what is really happening, focusing on constraints, and using small experiments to learn quickly. These ideas can benefit a reader's life by reducing frustration and wasted effort, both at work and in personal routines. When you stop blaming yourself or others and start adjusting the system, progress feels more achievable and less emotionally draining. The approach also helps people navigate complexity, where no single plan survives contact with reality. Compared with similar change or productivity books, Reset stands out by prioritizing practical redesign over inspirational slogans and by encouraging subtraction as much as addition. It offers a way to create measurable improvement without requiring permission for a massive reorganization. For buyers, that makes it a high-utility read. The concepts can be applied immediately to a process, a habit, or a recurring problem, and refined through repeated resets over time. If you would like to support Dan Heath, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.